Hello and welcome. We've got the game show, our annual time to be really disorganized and have a lot of fun and figure things out along the way. This is going to be great. Bear with us if we're sometimes confused, but it should be great. Today, Joshua Blackburn is joining us. Joshua is the founder of Two Brothers Games. To the two brothers, I guess, are his sons. We'll ask him about that. And the game, this is really cool. I don't remember where I first heard about it, but League of the Lexicon, which is everything people in this room would want in a game. And I think I counted 4 former That Word Chat guests among the list, a long list of contributors to the game. So John, welcome, or Joshua, welcome, excuse me.
It's really great to be here. It's super exciting.
I call you John because I have a cousin, John Blackburn, and I need to ask you this because I'll call my mother later and she'll ask me if there's any relation with the Blackburn. So are you the, I don't even know how cousins with this guy.
I think this is interesting.
Yeah.
My grandfather was German. And his name was Schwartzman, and around 1937, unsurprisingly, German names weren't hugely fashionable in the UK.
Oh, interesting.
And so he decided to change it to something that sounded solidly British. So from Schwartzman to Blackburn.
Okay.
And therein lies a really interesting story about how names change and what they say and why they change. And yeah, I mean, yes. There's a little kind of story contained there.
Right. Yeah, and a terrific one. And since my mother is 97, that would predate the immigration of your grandfather.
Yes.
So
yes.
So no relation. So you can be rest assured that there's no. The game is going to be completely objective and no fiddle going on here.
No fiddle whatsoever.
Yeah.
No. But you do have my bank account details.
I do, yes, and thank you for sending those over. So two brothers, your sons. So the story is you. This was your COVID project, right? Or how did it? Tell us how this came about.
Yeah, I mean, this was very much born of lockdown. And I know that everybody's experience of COVID is their own. It's been very mixed for different people, and some people drew positive, some people lost friends and relatives. It's been a crazy time. I was stuck at home with my wife and my 2 boys, and we were doing a lot of homeschooling. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I was kind of bored with what the school was sending them to do for English. And in a sense, it was a really strong feeling I had that there was nothing to get them inspired, nothing to really whet their appetite about words and language. And it turns out I'm terrible at doing homework with them. I'm really bad at doing homework with them, but I'm quite good at coming up with games for them. And so we were just working on different games to start getting them interested in words and start getting them curious about words and language. And as I started looking at what was out there, I think the thing that really struck me and that I found really frustrating is that we've got word games. We've got great word games. You've got Scrabble, you've got Bananagrams, you've got Boggle, you've got some great word games. But there's next to nothing that is a game about words, a game for language lovers to really kind of like dive into, that is about words and language and where it comes from and what it means and how to unpack it. And it's just such a huge world to explore. And there was just nothing that was doing it. And so this started as a a lockdown project really that I was developing for the boys. And because I'm a little bit of an obsessive, things got out of control. And I started putting more time into it and started thinking about it more as a real game. And then there was a bit of a fork in the road where I realized that actually, if this game was going to work, if this game was going to have legs, it actually couldn't be a kid's game. And it couldn't be an educational game. It had to be a game that really resonated with word lovers, people that just love the sound and the exploration and the discovery and the joy of words and language, and that had to be the principal audience for it. And if I got that nailed, I would be able to develop other things. But it had to start off with a game that resonated with the word lovers that were out there. So it moved from being a game that my kids could play to something that started to become more grown up. Right. However, and I will stop talking in a second, but however, that element of involving my kids remained important. And so the game, which features, I don't know, I've got the game right here. It's a quiz game. I haven't reinvented the quiz game format. It's just that it's a quiz game about words and language. And that's what's unusual about it. And so when you open it up, you've got 2 packs of questions, and you've got a Trixie deck that contains 300 question cards. That's 1,500 questions that are kind of quite challenging. So this is what I think will give the people in this chat room something to think about. But I wanted this game to be inclusive, and that's a really big deal for me. So this started as something to inspire my kids, and in a big sense, it remains something to inspire my kids. And I really want the joy and wonder and curiosity about words and language to be the kind of driving force of the game. So there's a second question deck in there called the ticklish category, which is easier. And that is for younger or less confident players, because otherwise you just got a game where the word hounds are just bossing it. And if you aren't quite as smart as them, you're just going to feel massively excluded. And I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted it to be a game that people could join in with.
Right. That's the key to a good game, is something you can play with the whole family, and you're not having to cheat to let the kids sort of get the upper hand. They can compete. And there's an expansion pack, right? For younger folks. So, I mean, the great thing about language is that the subject matter is endless. There is so much to play with. And so we've got 2,000 questions in the main game. But one of our contributors was a guy called Jonathan Green, who is the of Green's Dictionary of Slang and like countless titles about slang. He's like the world's foremost authority on the subject. Has not been on the show yet. And we got on really well. And I just like, hey, this would make a great subject for an expansion pack. So we've got a slang expansion pack. And then I was working with Gaston Doran, who wrote Babel and Lingo, who's a Dutch polyglot journalist, author, wonderful writer. And we got talking, and he was just like, well, it's a shame it's just about the English language. And so our conversation began, and we produced a global pack that is about languages around the world, and it's brilliant. It's wonderful. Yeah. So recently we just announced that we're going to do a junior edition, which is for players 8 and up, and that's right. Very quickly, we should get to this before we start playing a game, run out of time. Where do people The game is not in stores. The game does not, I don't have my copy yet. I ordered months ago. So, but it's on its way, right?
It is on its way. So we ran this, we launched on Kickstarter. If anybody knows about Kickstarter, it's a crapshoot. You don't know how it's going to go. And honestly, when we started, I was just like, if we make $30,000, I'll be happy. And the campaign finished by becoming the most successful word game in Kickstarter's history and raised like, well, £380,000. I don't know what that is in dollars, but it was a lot. And it was just like, wow.
It's about $380,000 a couple of weeks ago. I think it's gone up since then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it really exploded. So if anybody does want to check it out, the best way is just to go onto our website, which is leagueofthelexicon.com, and you can find all of the information there.
Okay, so it was this hugely successful Kickstarter, hugely successful launch. Your first game, was it?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
It's not my first rodeo, but it's our first big game for Two Brothers Games.
Right. So the first thing I'm struck is you have a quote from Stephen Fry.
Yes.
And I mean, and you have all these famous, I mean, to people who love words, they're the names of on your list and your contributors, they're all people we know. How did you find and gather all these people?
Honestly, I think that the mission and the ambition of the game just got people excited. And I was just reaching out to like the world's finest lexicographers and etymologists and academics and authors. And I just reached out with one simple question, which is, will you contribute one question to our game? And so we got these contributions from just like amazing people. And they just liked what it was trying to do. And also it just kind of that connected with them with what the game was about. So actually, as it was, Susie Dent, who did write something to go on our box, actually didn't contribute a question to the game because her agent said that she wasn't allowed to, which was disappointing. But I stayed in touch with her throughout, and then when the game was ready, I asked whether I could send her a copy. So it was just all of it was just a matter of just reaching out to people.
Okay. Well, we reached out to Susie Dent, didn't we? And unfortunately, she did not come on our show. But if you see her mention, we're still holding a spot open for her.
I'll mention
she
it
wants
too.
to go on
Yeah.
the show. So we need to move. We need to keep moving because we want to play the game. And what we're going to do, I'm going to briefly. Well, first of all, we're going to give you some sample questions to warm you up. After the sample questions, we're going to give you some real questions, and it'll be the first to answer. We'll get to play the game. We'll have 6 questions. 6 questions. The first to answer on each of those will be our 6 contestants. And then the plan is, after those 6 play the game, we're going to stop and play the game. We're going to do the same thing again, pick 6 more contestants, play the game again. And in the end, we're going to have a champion. Our winners from the 2 rounds each get a That Word Chat mug. And the big prize is a copy of League of the Lexicon, the game. So so this is exciting, and I'm sure we're going to have some really great competitors in here. Just to give you, but let's start. We set up a poll, and polls are really tricky, so we hope it works. But this is for everybody to answer. This is non-competitive. These are just some sample questions. So just to give you a feel for the types of questions in the game. So Heather, do you have a? Oh, there we go.
Yes.
All right. So first one, which word did not start as a trademarked brand name. Put your answer in if you think you know. Oh, and it's like 25% for each: granola, escalator, zipwire, and aspirin. And I think once we get to,
we'll give it another couple seconds.
yeah, just a couple of seconds, because we got to get through these.
I know.
All
right.
Stay on schedule.
3, 2, 1. Let's see what we got.
Granola is the winner by the look of it, and
Granola, escalator, zipwire, and aspirin.
oh,
Ooh,
we
I
didn't
like
actually put the answers in,
No.
in there. So, right.
Well, that's an omission. And from the top of my head, I believe that the correct answer is actually zipwire.
Yes, zipwire.
And I will try and dig out my notes from this.
You know what? Here. Yep.
Do you have the
guesses.
answer information there?
I don't. I thought I might have. So you get to
okay.
answer questions while we look up if you're right or not.
So
if you have granola,
I've got every other bit of information right next to me.
I don't remember the note on this one in particular. I think it was simply the three were brand names. Zipwire was not.
There was a note, I can assure.
There was a note. All right.
Right. The note was zipwire, granola, escalator, and aspirin all started as trademark brand names, which later became generic. I think that zipper is the thing that people might be getting confused with, because that is a trademark name, but zipwire or zipline is not.
Oh,
okay. And
there
did
go.
we? It's asking me if I want to share the results. Did we share the results of the poll?
Oh, I thought I did. Did everyone see them? I'm seeing some slight nods.
Not okay. Good.
Okay.
So
I'll make sure we keep this share up for our second one.
Right.
Okay.
Poll number 2.
Warm up 2. It is the Library of Congress question coming for you.
All right. 2010, America's Library of Congress began doing what? Collecting every public tweet, digitizing its book collection, sharing its pornography collection, pulping foreign publications. I wonder if pulping is more of an English expression. I've heard it before, but
really
pulping
loving
means
watching the
destroying,
guesses.
recycling.
These are some good guesses.
All right, yeah, it looks like collecting every public tweet and digitizing this book collection.
We'll do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks it's sharing its porn collection.
No, well, few people, 2 people did, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
collecting every public tweet is correct. We're correct in the room.
That is correct. It started off in 2010. No. Yeah, in 2010 it started collecting them, and then in 2017 it basically had to stop collecting all of the tweets because they realized there was some crazy quantity.
Oh, all right.
So they had to start prioritizing which tweets they were going to collect.
I tweeted my good stuff in 2018.
I've got written here that in 2013 it collected 170 billion tweets.
All right. So it's all public record, everything you've ever done. Let's go with the next one.
All right. Warm up 3.
Warm up 3. What is a minced oath? A traditional Scottish dish, seems to make sense. A false statement made in a law court, drunken, incoherent swearing, or a deliberate misspelling of blasphemous words. A minced oath.
All right, we'll give this one another 5 seconds or so. I like the confidence in this answer round.
Yeah, lots.
All right.
Misspelling. All right, deliberate misspelling is the winner there, and that is correct, right?
Well, people have obviously nailed this. I love minced oaths, and the list of them is kind of endless. Gosh, gadzooks, egad, blooming, darn, and then I don't know. The Americans are wonderful at minced oaths.
Oh, really? You think it's an American thing more than a
No, it's
UK thing?
it's not an American thing, but you're pretty good at coming up with them.
Mhm.
Judas
Okay.
Priest, things like that. Shut the front door.
Okay.
All right, number
warm up
4. We'll do 2 more, and then everybody's got to be ready for the big questions.
Oh yeah, some cognac is marked with XO. What does the XO stand for? Is it extra old, extraordinaire, nothing at all, or Xavier Orland? Who is Xavier Orland?
I can't tell you that now.
Well,
Um,
this doesn't really mean anything.
Gives a crucial clue.
Yeah, okay.
Or does it?
Or maybe it's just a made up name. Some disagreement, extraordinary.
It doesn't sound made up. It sounds very authentic.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give it just a couple more seconds. All right, let's see what everybody thought.
Yeah, everybody went for extraordinaire, and that is incorrect.
I'm afraid it is incorrect. It stands for extra old. And I was surprised about this myself because cognac, French, why is it XO? But it turns out that cognac dealers were historically English speakers. I could never quite work out what that meant. They were English or they spoke English, but clearly that the language of the cognac trade was English. And so that's why bottles are marked XO. And it's actually why they're marked VSOP as well.
Right. VSOP, very special old punch.
But well, if you're drinking beer, it's very special old peculiar.
Oh.
I think. And now
I think in cognac it means very smooth old pale.
That's the one.
Ah.
Thank you.
Very nice. All right, one more to get warmed up, and then we're going to move straight into the competition round. Who is the most frequently cited source for the first evidence of a word in the Oxford English Dictionary? Who is it Chaucer, Shakespeare, Ben Jonson, or John Milton? No women in this list, I know this. Shocking to me.
Well, I think that actually might make an interesting question. Who is the most frequently cited woman in the Oxford English Dictionary?
An excellent question.
Don't know what the answer to that is.
I can't imagine. Maybe
that would be
maybe
really
Jane Austen.
question.
All right, let's see what everybody thought.
Nobody, poor old Milton. Nobody went with him. Shakespeare is sort of the obvious choice with 57, but it is incorrect, right?
Yeah, it's Chaucer, which again, and one of the joys of preparing this game was just discovering stuff that was just like, wow, wouldn't have thought of that. But yeah, Chaucer is the most commonly cited source for first evidence of a new word. And that's quite an important distinction. It doesn't mean they coined the word. It means it is first seen in their writing.
Right. All right. So now you get a sense of the gameplay. But it's a little bit more complicated, but there are in the actual game, you roll a die to decide what category of question. And so there's some details, but excuse me, that's as Joshua said, it's essentially a quiz game, and that gives you a sense of it. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to, Heather, our producer, is going to put in the chat a question, and she'll read it, but I suspect the answers will come very quickly before she has a chance to read the question. So she's going to put a question in the chat. The first person to respond with the correct letter is going to compete in round 1 of the League of Lexicon That Word Chat Championship. So question goes in. Don't answer before the question goes in. Don't put C thinking, well, maybe it'll be C. Wait for the question. Once the question's in, put in your letter, And if you're one, and we'll determine electronically who is our first contestant. We're going to do that 6 times.
Yes. And so that is how you answer. I'm going to read the question and put it in the chat. And then when you think you know the answer, reply with the letter. So don't worry about typing out the whole word, the whole answer. We will start with this one. Let me make sure I'm not going to give the answer away on accident. Perfect. So what is the opposite of evanescent? Permanent, ugly, weighty, or bright?
And what is the answer?
All right. And that goes to Amy with A, permanent. Evanescent means short-lived or quickly vanishing, as in her painting.
I hate to say it, but I think Mona said it before. Well, although she didn't wait until the question was actually posted. So
I waited
Ooh,
until I heard the question.
you
Right.
did, and it popped up. That counts. Mona got it correct. You heard permanent and you knew. Thank you, Mark. So
Okay.
yes, her painting perfectly captured the evanescent morning dew. Mona, you are correct, and our first contestant.
Okay. So Mona, no need to answer. You're already one of our 6. So next question.
Perfect. What does confabulate mean? To converse, to confuse, to combine, to confound. All right.
Looks
And
like
it
some
looks
wrong
like
answers there.
our first correct answer goes to Amy Fass, who said A, to converse. To confabulate is to chat informally or talk in an unfamiliar way, also abbreviated to confab, as in, can we have a confab?
Is that an American expression?
Confab?
Yeah.
Or
Let's
confabulate.
just have a quick confab about this.
I
In
think
the
so.
UK, that's an expression that's very familiar, but I don't know whether it's something that people in America know.
I'd literally
Familiar.
never heard it until I watched a TV show where they're like, let's have a confab. And I was like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I have heard it. Yeah.
But yes, Amy, you are our second player. All right, let's do our next question. All right, someone who has been to France or contended with the Pharaoh is what? Drunk, a liar, very sick, or dead? Oh, Pam, you
Yeah,
were
right away.
on that one. It is drunk.
Straight in there.
There are among over 200 slang terms for drunkenness collected in Benjamin Franklin's Drinker's Diary.
Mhm.
Other slang terms include, oh wow, nimtopsical, pungy, been among the Philippines, in the suds, been before George, and got on his little hat. I'm using that one
Alright.
all the time now. That's amazing. Next one. All right, umbrella is from a Latin word meaning what? Small roof, little shade, hand tent, private shelter. Wow, Judy.
Everybody says B on that one.
Judy got to it first, though. You are
Hmm.
correct. Little shade.
Did Judy or Molly? I'm sorry.
Wait, thank you.
Seen Molly. Oh yeah, it was. Yes, I think Molly right after you
Yep, right after I
started
finished.
speaking.
Yeah, that was when you
Finished
said it.
speaking it. Yep, that is Molly.
All right, we got 2 more contestants to find.
Great job, Molly. Oh, but yes, the answer is B, little shade. The Italian word umbrero, from which we get umbrella, is Latin from the Latin umbra. First, umbrella is a word for shade, not protection from rain. All right. Oh, this is a very good one. How did Alexander Graham Bell wish the telephone be answered? Ahoy,
this one.
what ho, yoo-hoo, what's up?
No surprise that Bree on top of that one.
And that is absolutely correct. Graham Bell proposed ahoy should be the standard telephone greeting, but Thomas' suggestions Edison, hello, carried the day. All right, Bree.
Hello, which was invented for the purpose, basically.
Hmm.
Not seen before the telephone.
Is that
All
true?
right.
No, I just made this up. Yes, I would not say it on this show if it weren't. Yeah, no, it was. I think there was halloo. There were variations on it, but
Yeah.
hello was purposely invented to answer the telephone.
All the good word facts. All right, someone fussy is what? Chubby, fussy, playful, aimless. Wow,
Still waiting for the right answer here.
we are.
Everybody says aimless. Never heard this term before.
Same. And it looks like this is Judy
Yeah, Judy came up
with
with it.
our first correct answer. Yes, it is Judy. So the answer is A, chubby. And Judy is our sixth contestant.
All right, so Mona, Amy, Pam, Molly, Bree, Judy.
Mhm.
We're going to watch you play the game, and Joshua is our game master who is going to take you through
Can you
sort of a
just
shortened
put that-
version.
Could you just quickly type those names down so I can put them into my game board?
I will do that and send them to you.
Mark is on it. Thank you, Mark.
Yes, I have written them
I've
down.
got Mona, Amy,
Pam, Molly. Brianna is BRI.
Yeah.
And Judy with an I.
great. Okay. Everything is ready. Right. So
All right, here we go.
we're going to play. I'm going to switch to a share screen. I hope this works. Okay. Can everybody see that okay?
Yes.
I hope so. So the game, I mean, it is a quiz game. And each question card features 5 categories: lexicon master, meaning and more, usage and abusage, word source, and wordly wisdom. I'm not going to read them out. You can read them there. The category that we probably weren't doing so much in those warm-up questions was usage and abusage, because it's quite tricky to do in a format like this. But the idea is we're trying to test like literally every corner of language. And in the game, people have a character card and they need to answer questions. And when they get a question right, they draw an artifact, and there's a part of gameplay around that. That's what an artifact looks like. And to be honest, I'm not really going to get into that for this. We don't really have the time for it. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask our different contestants a randomly selected question. If they get it right, they get an artifact. If they don't, they get nothing. The first person to 2 artifacts has to get 1 more question right, and they're the winner. And it's as simple as that. The game itself is a bit more complicated, but not much, because I have a very short attention span and I don't like really complicated rules. But it's a bit more complicated. But for this, we've kept it super simple. Right, so I'm going to start off with a question for Mona, and I'm going to type it up here. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. is a well-known what?
Do I speak it or say it in chat?
You can say it.
It's C.
It is C. You're quite right.
Very good.
Okay. Now I just
Mona, let's have you introduce yourself also, Mona.
I'm
Just
a
quickly.
technical writer, and I don't think I'm very good as a lexicographer.
You're doing well so far.
I'm in Canada, and
And for those who can't see it, C was pangram.
yeah, sorry, C was pangrams. I hope people can see this.
Yeah,
So
it would help if you read the options before the person answers, please, because not all of
Okay.
us can see our screens.
I will do that. Right, sorry. Quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog is a well-known pangram. It's a 35 character pangram, so it's not actually the shortest pangram, but it is very well known. And sadly, the less letters you have in the pangram, more gibberish it becomes. Right, okay then. So, Amy. Oops, why does that happen? Ah, there we go. The punishment of elinguation. Elinguation involves what? Fierce tickling, having one's innards pulled out, having one's eyes removed, or having one's tongue removed.
D.
B.
No, D as in dog.
Oh,
B for dog, having one's tongue removed. You are absolutely on the money there.
right.
First attested in 1730, elinguate, deprive of the tongue, was actually first seen in 1609.
I thought that was. I thought this question was for me. Was this? Is it whoever's
Amy?
first or?
That was for, no, that was for Amy.
Oh, I'm very
Yeah.
sorry.
And you know something, I was still muted, but I knew it. E
Okay.
out
Oh.
and lingua, what tongue?
Okay. So this
Oh.
one is for
I'm-
Pam.
Yeah, my
Only-
chat box is still blocking some of the screen.
Yeah.
including
Only
yours.
Pam answers this.
You could, I can suggest you can close the chat box. I know that takes something away. Mine
did,
is
yeah.
floating. Yeah, mine's floating and it's not blocking the screen.
Yeah, it happens a lot with shared screen. It goes farther over than the chat box.
Mhm.
Somebody's writing all over my screen.
So we need to give Amy
Yeah, does it count? I was muted when I said it.
Yeah, I think that
know it.
counts, Amy.
I'm
You
giving
said you knew it.
Out that. Right. So this one
Okay.
is for Pam.
Thank you.
Colmac, Maltron, and Dvorak are all what? Cipher machines, keyboard layouts, invented languages, or precursors to Braille.
Thought they were composers, but I'm going to go with invented languages.
Damn.
C.
They do sound like it, but they are keyboard layouts. So they're
Nice.
basically alternatives to QWERTY.
Right.
So
Naturally, I knew the previous two.
of course you did. I'm sorry about that.
Let's catch up really. Let's catch up really quick. Pam, quickly introduce yourself, please.
Hi, Pam Edson. I'm a copy editor living in Atlanta.
And it's EIDSON.
And I watch a lot of British quiz shows.
And Amy, we missed getting a word from you.
I muted again. Should we mute when we're not the person being questioned?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's safer, but
Yeah.
tell us
Yeah, I was
about
wondering if I
yourself.
should. Yeah. Okay. And I'm an editor specializing in science and medicine. I live in New York City.
Okay, excellent. And then next up is going to be Molly. Molly,
Okay.
can you
Can I ask a
introduce
question?
yourself? Yeah.
What do the names at the over the tops of the cards with our names at the
Oh,
bottom
good
mean?
Good question.
So the design and creation of this game is it's all about words and language. There is nothing that's stray or random here. And so the names there are all the names of different lexicographers in different continents in different ages. So Doc Johnson and Roger, you will remember. Coulson was the name of a female lexicographer, Jessie Coulson, who worked at the Oxford English Dictionary in the 1930s or 40s, I think. I need to check that. Hester was Hester Thrale, who was a famous letter writer. And Sister Shen and Amira, this was me dipping into lexicography in India and China and finding people connected with language there. And so that the names all have significance. Does that answer the question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. Raises some others, but I'll leave that for now.
Get a copy of the game and maybe they'll have the answer. So Molly, can you quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. I'm Molly. I'm a fantasy, science fiction, and romance editor in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Hi there.
We're at least a couple of Canadians today.
So shall I, right, so this one is a slightly different question because the categories are different. So this is not multiple choice, and this one is going to be timed.
Oh, interesting.
Name
You ready, Molly?
10 words beginning with sub.
Ooh.
Hyphenated or two-word phrases are allowed. Plurals are not. And although we don't have a timer in the game, we're looking at a minute.
A minute?
Naturally, the one that comes to mind is submarine, but that's on there. So
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It's a freebie.
Submarine, suboptimal, sublimation, substitute. I'm gonna try not to look at the chat.
What's your job?
Don't provide answers.
What's your job?
Subway. Did I say sublimate? I think I did. Sub. This is so hard when you're on the spot. Sublime.
What job do you do again, Molly?
I'm a copy editor.
Oh, okay. You probably work with somebody whose job title begins with sub.
Oh, an English term.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, so I did submission there.
Sub editor.
Sub.
I think you need two more, and you've got it.
Okay.
Oh, two more. So close. But...
Two more. I assume I can't do submit because I did submission.
No, you can take submit.
All right, submit. Submersible.
Ooh.
You've got it. I mean, yeah. I mean, the words do evaporate.
They
when
do.
You've got to think about it. I thought sub editor. You were going to get.
Okay. No,
that was
so we've got a list here. So answers might include subaltern, subatomic, subcategory, subcommittee, subconscious, subcontinent, subcontractor, subdivision, subdue, sub-editor, subhead, subject, and on it goes. But yeah, those kind of like word category questions, they can be quite difficult.
Yes, that was a bit unkind, but well done,
okay.
Molly.
So we're on to Bree.
Yes, Bree, tell us about yourself.
Hello, I'm Bree. I'm a technical editor and historical linguist. Right now I work for a nuclear power startup called Kairos Power. Yeah.
You know a few subwords.
And I'm in California.
I think you're going to like this question. I think you're going to like this question. I'm not sure. We'll see. Okay. So what does a Lambert measure? Is it a measure of light, salt content, stickiness, or flammability? A Lambert.
Oh, so many units of measurement. That's very interesting. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say flammability, but I'm not sure.
I'm afraid it is light.
Oh,
So we've got here a Lambert is a unit of luminance equivalent to 0.32 candles radiated evenly over 1 square centimeter. And so I would say, before I do the next question, this was kind of one of the things we were trying to do with the game, because it is meant to be challenging, but our hope was that everybody would get through a game and would be like, oh, that's interesting. They would have kind of like accumulated stuff that they'd be like, they would have enjoyed finding. The philosophy was that even if somebody got a question wrong, it should at least be fun that they got it wrong. It should at least be interesting. Right, so I think we're now to Judy.
Yep.
Judy, introduce yourself, please.
I am Judy. I'm a freelance editor. I'm somewhat of a generalist, though my favorite thing to edit is poetry. And until last month, I had been living in California for 24 years, but I just moved to the great state of Massachusetts last month. So I am in Massachusetts.
Very nice.
Right, okay, so this is, well, let's see how this goes. Which word does not come from a character of Greek mythology? Lethargy, phobia, morphine, or nausea?
Morphine.
I think not. No, it's nausea, which is from the Greek for seasickness. I've got written here that lethargy is from the myth of Lethe, personification of forgetfulness and oblivion. Phobia is from Phobos, god of fear, and morphine is from Morpheus, god of sleep.
And don't tell anybody that my master's degree is in Greek and Latin. So that would be really embarrassing.
Your secret is safe on this online podcast.
Yeah, but I knew the other 5, so
yeah.
So I'm going to make I'm going to make an executive decision here, and I know we said first to 2, but I think what we have to do is say goodbye to Pam, Bree, and Judy in the interest. We're already 15 minutes behind, so I think the next round we'll just do Mona, Amy, and Molly, if that's all right.
Okay. And I'm torn about this next question, but I'm gonna now I'm gonna go for the safe one. I will go for the safe one. Okay, this one is for Mona. Someone who has sained, S-A-I-N-E-D, has done what? Said their last words, pleaded for mercy, crossed their fingers, or crossed themselves for luck. This is sained.
I believe it's D, the last choice.
Ooh. Mona is on this. No doubt about it. Yes, to sain is to make the sign of a cross, either as a blessing or to ward off evil. Right, Amy. I'm going to give you the question I wasn't sure about, but I really like it. So, yeah.
I'm waiting to find out why not.
Right. What does the scale named after the University of Bristol measure?
Oh boy.
the different types
dear.
of human stools, the color of urine, the quality of earwax secretion, or
Wow.
the level of human pain.
Wow. I don't know.
It is known as the Bristol something scale, and it's well known in hospitals.
I'll say D.
No, it is A. It is to do with the different types of human stools, I'm afraid. I think they've got like a 7-point scale for this. So
me being a medical editor, I'm kind of surprised I didn't know. I may have seen it somewhere, but a long time ago and forgotten.
Right, so Molly, it is up to you. Are you going to be able to pull this off? Okay, I like this one. What was the first utopia? A dream, a garden, an island, or a sweet milk pudding?
Oh, I studied this. I gotta know this.
You better know it.
I'm not sure now. I think it's B.
B, a garden. Was that B or D?
B, a garden. Yeah.
Right, B, a garden. No, I'm afraid it was C, an island.
That was the other choice. Yeah.
English philosopher Thomas More coined the word for his book Utopia, written in 1516. It referred to an imaginary island blessed with a perfect society. From Latin utopia, meaning nowhere, itself derived from a Greek word. And the other thing I'd say, which is was really important to us, is that the answers for this game are really detailed. So it wasn't, in some quiz games, it's just like, well, here's the answer. But actually, we had a lot of fun writing the answers. So it's hopefully fun to read it even when you got it wrong. Hey, it looks like Mona took that one.
Yeah, looks like Mona's our winner and gets that word chat mug.
Yeah.
Congratulations, and gets to compete in our final round. So we are running a little late, and we're sorry if we're gonna make anybody late for dinner, but maybe we can try to speed stuff up for the next round.
Right.
Heather's gonna put 6 more questions in chat. If you have participated already, please don't answer. Let's get 6 new contestants for our next round.
All right, so, and now we have a system. So here we go. I'll read the question and then we'll post all the answers at the same time.
Oh, I'm going to stop sharing.
Oh, sorry. Who wrote the first English dictionary in America? Samuel Johnson Jr., Noah Webster, the Merriam Brothers, or Benjamin Franklin?
Oh my goodness. Everybody in the room knows this one.
All right, so let's see. Our first correct answer is Rachel. Samuel Johnson Jr. While Noah Webster is often called America's first lexicographer, his earliest dictionary, the 1806 Compendious Dictionary of the English Language, was published after Samuel Johnson Jr.'s A School Dictionary in 1798.
I suspected a trick question, or not a trick question, but I suspected there was more to it, but fooled me.
This one is probably going to be my favorite question. All right. Where does the word robot originate? A Czech word robotnik, meaning forced worker, Russian modernist composer Robotnikov, Latin word robiere, meaning metal shaped, Aramaic word arbat, meaning to shine. And let's see. A, Beverly.
Beverly.
Yes. It comes from the Czech Robotnik. It first appeared in the 1920 science fiction play by Karel Čapek, although the word itself was coined by Karel's brother, Josef Josef. In Čapek's play, RUR, which stands for Rossum's Universal Robots, Robotnik referred to a forced worker. Robota was a forced laborer, and robotiti to drudge work. Oh, I learned quite a bit in that answer, actually. All right. Our next question, what is the opposite of accumbent? Reckless, upright, independent, or speedy? Oh, gotta get back to scroll back to my question.
Accumbent and a recumbent.
All right, it looks like, oh yeah. So Kate was set on direct message to me still and has B. So yeah.
before Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is our Kate with B for upright. Accumbent means reclining, leaning, or lying down. It particularly refers to a person's posture when dining at a table, often seen in ancient Greece and Rome.
Oh, Kate says typo. What does that mean?
She sent B and B together.
Oh.
So, excitement. Yeah, I figured the V after the B was the excitement. And then, okay, which is an incorrect plural? There we go. Which is an incorrect plural? Squid, plural of squid. Moose, plural of moose. Mongoose, plural of mongoose. Sheep, plural of sheep.
Daniel says X.
X. All right, and it looks like Sheila. We've got C, mongoose is incorrect. The plural of mongoose is mongooses.
Not mongoose.
Not mongoose. All other plurals are correct. And then that gets us to 4.
2 more.
Let's see. This one isn't a multiple choice answer. So I think we will use Daniel's X to buzz in so someone can answer this one.
Okay, so if you want to get the answer, type in X, but wait for the full question. We won't
Yes.
accept any answers before the full question.
Offspring, Shambles, Trout, and Series have what in common?
Offspring, Shambles, Trout, and Series have what in common? No
Mhm.
answers yet.
Oh,
Dana thinks she
Dana.
might know.
Let's give it a go, Dana.
They all are plural words. Their plurals are the same as the word. So like you don't have a shambles, you have a shambles.
Yes, they are both plural and singular.
Excellent.
You have taken our 5th slot. Congrats.
One more.
And then we have another one. We're going to buzz in with the X. All right. What do the words unravel, debone, and irregardless have in common? Oh, Elizabeth. Let's see what we got.
The prefixes don't add anything. To debone to bone means to take the bone out of something. So
Yes.
the ravel to the un doesn't add anything to ravel. They're words where the prefix is useless.
Yes, if you remove their prefix, they retain the same meaning. You are contestant number 6.
Hey,
Right.
Excellent.
Perfect. All right. All right. We'll do the next round same way. We've got Rachel, Beverly, Kate, Sheila, Dana, and Elizabeth. And I will send you those names.
no, I've got them.
Got them? Okay.
I've got them. I was on the spot this time.
Excellent. All right. We're only 20 minutes behind, but maybe we'll make it up a bit.
Right, let me get myself in order
We
here.
will have a final round to determine the winner
Okay,
after this.
Rachel,
Yes.
I seem to introduce a lot of questions with, oh, I like this one. But that's kind of how I feel. There's a lot of questions I'm just like, oh, I like this question. Right, who of these is made up? Mrs. Amelia Jenks Bloomer, namesake of Bloomers. James Brudnell, 7th Earl of Cardigan, namesake of the cardigan. Dr. Gerald Plimsoll, inventor of Plimsoll rubber shoes. Or John B. Stetson, namesake of the iconic cowboy hat. Which of those did not exist?
I truly have no idea. So I am guessing here. I'm going to go with C. Plimsoll.
Oh, lovely. She shoots, she scores.
That's the one I haven't heard of.
Right in there. Yeah, so
I figured anything with, there's so much British stuff named after like earls and dukes and whatnot. So
that's what we do. We've got a lot of earls and dukes around here. What else are you going to name stuff after?
Rachel, introduce yourself quickly for us, please.
sure. So I'm Rachel Lapido. I'm in Vermont. I'm a freelance copy editor. I work a lot on RPGs, comics, and manga.
Right.
Nice to meet you. So it says here, Plimsolls were named after the Plimsoll line on the side of ships, which itself was named after Samuel Plimsoll. And the Plimsoll line is the thin line that goes around ships that's used to measure how much load has been put onto the ship, because the lower into the water it gets, the more cargo it is carrying. So that's what a Plimsoll line is. But Rachel's straight in there. Okay.
All right. All right. Let's get Beverly to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Beverly Michaels. I live in New Jersey. Right now I'm working in Pennsylvania, and I'm a freelance copy editor, primarily academic books.
Why do you live in New Jersey and work in?
They're right next to each other. They're right next.
I know, but you're a freelancer. You don't work.
Yeah,
from home.
no,
Everybody
long story.
Okay.
Freelance editing is my side gig. So.
Okay.
Okay. Here's another question I'm going to introduce with a, ooh, I like this question.
Hope I like it too.
Why are people familiar with Cicero's De Finibus Bonorum et Malorum? A, it is the source of many Latin proverbs we quote today. B, Winston Churchill plagiarized it for his speeches. C, it is printed on all British banknotes. Or D, it is the basis of lorem ipsum placeholder text.
I have no idea.
Cicero's De Finibus Bonorum et Malorum.
Yeah, well, my limited Latin ran out a long time ago here. I'm going to go with D. It's the basis of the lorem ipsum placeholder.
Yeah. And you've, again, oh, no, was that? Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was a lucky guess, I got to say. Thank you.
I know. But so it's apparently there was a real quest to find out what the source of this text was, because it was being used as placeholder text, but actually for a long time, nobody knew where this text came from. And I've got here, lorem ipsum placeholder text has been used in documents and typesetting since the 1960s. It was thought to have no meaning until classical scholar Richard McClintock connected the scrambled words with a treatise written by Cicero in 45 BC on the extremes of good and evil. And I love that, because it's like everybody uses this text and doesn't give a second's thought as to where it even came from, but they're quoting this text. Anyway, right, so Kate.
Kate, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, hello. I'm Kate Karp, and I live in Long Beach, California.
I copy edit for school text, educational text, and I also write a pet column for a local publication.
And if this is a spelling question, Kate is a former spelling bee champion.
Well,
Well, it's not. So let's see how you get on with this one. Historically, how should ye old ship in be pronounced? Should it
I
be
believe
pronounced yea
yeah.
old ship in, thy old ship in, ye old ship in, or the old ship in?
I think it's D, because the Y wasn't really a Y from what I understand. Am I correct?
And Kate has absolutely nailed it. The Y, if I
The
get it,
thorn. Thank you, Daniel.
yes, that is exactly what it was. It was written with a thorn, which printers then replaced with a Y.
Right.
Right. Okay, then. So it
Wow,
is
3 for 3.
It is getting difficult because, okay, so
Mhm.
let's try this one. Let's step things up a little bit. For
Just in
Sheila.
time for Sheila. Sheila, introduce yourself, please. Are you there, Sheila? Oh,
I think we've lost Sheila.
have we lost Sheila?
No, I am still here. I don't know how
Oh,
I
good.
did it again.
Hmm.
Do I need to try that again?
No,
Well,
you're good. We can hear you. But tell us who you are.
I'm Sheila Detloff, and I am an in-house copy editor at an advertising agency in Michigan.
Good to meet you, Sheila. Okay, so here we go. I think that the first 3 questions have been quite easy, so I've decided to step this one up a little bit. What does an admiral of the narrow sea do? Give his opinions generously. Throw up on the person opposite. Pick an argument unnecessarily. Or sail a boat that's too small.
I have no idea, but I really want it to be B, throws up on the person opposite, so I'm going to choose that.
Oh, I'm so pleased you went and said that. Yeah, that is correct. So that is a slang expression from Francis Grose's famous dictionary of slang. And the admiral of the narrow sea was somebody who was so drunk that they would throw up on the person opposite them. And they were complimented by the vice admiral of the narrow sea, I believe it was, who would, I believe, urinate into the boots of the person they were sitting next to.
Oh, dear.
Something like that. So yeah, this is kind of Regency slang, but doesn't help us because everybody's getting their damn questions right. Okay then, so we're on to, have I spelled Dania's name right? Yes, I think so.
Dana.
Dana, have I said, oh no, I haven't.
D-A-Y-N-A.
Sorry about that.
Dana, tell us about yourself.
Hi. I turned on the camera, but I don't know if you're seeing me or if you're seeing my outdoors. So hi.
We're seeing a logo.
Oh, well, we also have poor internet right now, so
Well, that's fine.
So hi, I'm Dana. I am a freelance copy editor. I live in Pennsylvania. I work in Pennsylvania as well. I am nowhere near New Jersey. My clients are primarily romance writers who are publishing independently. I copy edit and I spend way too much time researching information on trivial facts. So, oh boy, I'm scared now.
You're going to be right at home here.
I've been getting so many wrong though. Like I can find the answers to these. It's the pulling them out of my head that is the fun part. So, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so let's do this. What is the opposite of cupidinous? Slender, indifferent, unremarkable, or argumentative?
Oh, for heaven's sake. All right, so cupidinous, it would be having the quality of cupidity, which would cupidity, cupid. So the opposite is, oh heavens. Whoever came up with the answers has did a really good job. Because if we go with the whole idea of Cupid being like Saint Cupid being like a chubby dude, slender is the obvious answer. But if we go with Cupid being the god of love, then indifferent is the answer. I'm going to go with D, argumentative.
Huh, you surprised me with that.
Because
your logic was totally right, but then
well, because like someone anyways, what is the right answer? Sorry.
The answer is B, indifferent. Because cupidinous means full of desire or lust or covetousness. So therefore the opposite of that is indifferent.
I didn't trust myself enough. You know, this was fun.
Okay, finally, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a generalist editor living in a small town in Ontario, Canada. I'm also a teacher of editing. I do one-day workshops and I teach a couple of online courses, like online even before anyone heard of the pandemic, for Toronto Metropolitan newspaper. And I really ought to be grading copy editing quizzes right now, but heck.
No.
I'm pleased that we're able to distract you.
Priorities.
Right, yeah, indeed. Okay. Let's go for this one. Which letter does not appear in the Latin alphabet? F, Z, U, or K?
Oh shoot, I know this and my mind has gone blank. Z.
U. That's why all of the inscriptions are written with V's. And the other letters missing are J and W.
There's a zeta, but it comes early in the alphabet.
Right, so we're down to 4. Right, Rachel,
Yes.
do we have you?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Dana and Elizabeth.
Thank you indeed. Okay, so Rachel, the phenomenon known as pareidolia entails what? Believing inanimate objects are talking to you, perceiving colors as sounds, seeing familiar shapes in random patterns, or suddenly starting to speak a foreign language?
I'm going to go with D, suddenly speaking a foreign language.
I'm sorry you said that. No, it's C. So, you know, when you read in the news about somebody who's seen the face of Jesus Christ in a piece of toast, that's pareidolia. It's in imagining forms in random patterns.
Like Dana said, those are all very believable answers. The answers are terrific.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
We're down to 3. At least it's narrowing down. Right. Beverly.
Now you can narrow still farther.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Whose pen names were Alice Addertongue, Busybody, and Martha Careful?
Oh, my goodness.
Hmm.
Charles Boone. Sorry, I'll read the answers out. I stopped reading after that. I
Won't
read
help
the
me, but
question.
okay, fine.
Charles Boone, Benjamin Franklin, Viscount Rothermere, or Emily Bronte? Spelled very wrongly. Let's not dwell on that.
Well, let me go with Emily Bronte. D.
I think the clue was in the misspelling, but no, it is Benjamin Franklin.
Oh no, that would have been my other guess. I thought busybody was a anachronism, so I didn't.
As well as being a founding father, Benjamin Franklin was a scientist, inventor, writer, printer, publisher, and more. He authored dozens of letters to newspapers, employing countless pseudonyms. As well as those mentioned, Franklin was Widow Dogood, Polly Baker, and Anthony Afterwit.
Okay.
So if nobody gets these four, we have we'll have to bring our contestants back.
Right. So where are we at?
8 next.
I'm on Sheila now.
I think we haven't done Kate yet.
Oh, sorry,
Am I
Kate.
right?
Apologies. Okay. So get rid of this. It's confusing me. Get rid of that, and I'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. Right. Okay. So we're on to Kate. What? Oops. Apologies.
I think it's Benjamin Franklin.
What is the origin of touche, meaning a clever point made at another's expense? A medical term meaning first indication of symptoms. B, a fencing term meaning a hit by an opponent. C, an embarrassing truth. Or D, in rhetoric, a statement that provokes a reaction.
I think it's the fencing term, B. When they tap somebody, it's touche. Is it B?
And that is correct.
Mhm.
And should I have one last one for Rachel as well, or did she get that one wrong? I can't remember. Yes, I think that, I'm afraid I think Rachel's out, isn't she?
I got it
Right,
wrong.
I believe. Yeah, I believe
sorry.
Kate's our
So
only
it's
one
basically,
so far.
this is no pressure, Sheila, but there's loads of pressure on you. Right. Well, are you good with Latin? What does the Roman inscription SPQR stand for? Senatus Populusque Romanus, Sono Pazzi Questi Romani, Sporci Porci Questi Romani, or Senatus Populusque Romanus?
Wonderful words, whatever was right.
I am going to say A.
I'm so pleased. Yes, that is correct. You didn't fall into our D-shaped Senatus Populusque Romanus trap. I'm very pleased. Yes, so Senatus Populusque Romanus, the Senate and Roman people. Sono Pazzi Questi Romani and Sporci Porci Questi Romani are spoofs that translate as these Romans are mad and these Romans are dirty pigs. And Senatus Populusque Romanus has one quay too many. Right, so it's basically it's sudden death between Kate and Sheila.
Yes,
I think.
Well,
So-
should we do sudden death, or should we do? I'm worried about the time, but I think maybe we should keep going with another round for those two.
Or we could, yes, or we could bring in our previous winner and just have a three-way knockout and
Oh, that's a
start
thought.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's a fair, although that means I'd have to ship another that word chat mug, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Do you
All right,
think
so
you can-
Kate and Sheila move on to our final round with Mona.
Mona. Okay, so I'm just going to literally put Mona in here. I don't think I can get rid of that.
Well, this is going to be, so how are we going to do, should we do the same way? First one to two?
No, I think that we probably just do sudden death. We keep going until people get things wrong, I think.
Okay. Okay.
So.
What are the significance of the images on the cards that are turned over? Like, are you trying to connect an entire arsenal of weapons, or the most interesting,
So this it's a good question, and you're kind of asking about the gameplay and the narrative of the game in a way that I haven't really been able to talk about here. But the name League of the Lexicon and the narrative arc for it, because it could have just been like a collecting little tokens kind of a game, and we didn't really want to do that. So the idea is you have these lexicographers who are collecting rare lexical artifacts that are owned by legendary writers and masters of words throughout history. And each of these artifacts is just an object. As you can see here, you've got Charlotte Bronte's pet dodo. And they're just silly, fun things to collect. And that's the kind of the story within the game, is the quest for these rare artifacts.
Are they all printed in black and white like that, so we can color them in when we get them home?
No.
If you start coloring them in, I will be most disappointed.
Heard.
So for this final round, are you asking individuals, or does everybody answer at once?
Okay, so no, I'm going to now I'm literally thinking on my feet here. I think I'm trying to knock people out. I think that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to knock people out. Right. So let's see how this goes.
Spelling bee style still.
Right then. So Mona, which is the odd one out? Odorant, opposite of deodorant. Feckful, opposite of feckless. Daisical, opposite of lackadaisical. And peccable, opposite of impeccable.
Goodness gracious.
Which is the
I'm going to say C, daisical.
Daisical. Yes, you are correct. Why? Just out of interest?
The other ones look a little more like real words, that's all.
And you basically nailed it. Yes, daisical is not a real word. Right, so Mona is still in the running. So, Kate.
Next one.
What is a pseudologist, leasemonger, or wrinkler? And this will be a slang-based question. An estate agent, a liar, a priest, or a blackmailer?
Well, it could be any of those, I suppose, in context, but I'll take B, a liar.
B, a liar is correct. They're all Victorian slang, as are for liars, as are falsificator, gabber, cantergloak, hatchet thrower, and mogger. Right.
So Joshua, should you have turned over those cards just to signify?
No, I'm just going to, when they get them wrong, I'm going to delete them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right then.
So we have two questions, two correct answers.
Yeah, so this isn't really working, but we'll see how it goes.
It'll work. If we're here all night, we'll knock somebody out.
No pressure, but someone with ectomania cannot do what? Settle down, be touched, wear wool, or use a phone. I pronounced that wrong as well. It's ecdemomania.
Sadly, that will not help me. I'm just going to guess be touched.
Be touched. It is settle down.
Oh.
Someone with ecdemomania has a compulsion to travel or be away from home.
All right.
I'm
Well,
correct,
congratulations, Sheila, for making it this far and doing extremely well. That word chat mug coming your way. Better than this one. This is kind of rough, washed off a little bit. We'll get you a fresh one.
Thank you.
Okay. Right then. So it's head to head between Mona and Kate. And at the risk of repeating myself, I like this question. Which term first appeared in Shakespeare's As You Like It? A, advertising. B, buy one, get one free. C, demographic. Or D, marketable.
I'm just going to guess
which
that it's.
term first appeared in Shakespeare's As You Like It?
I'm going to guess that it's D, marketable.
She's still in there.
Oh.
Marketable meaning fit to be sold. As when Celia says, all the better, we shall be the more marketable. Shakespeare also had the first known use of advertising, seen in Measure for Measure. Your friar is now your prince, as I was then, advertising and holy to your business. Right.
Hey.
Kate.
Yes.
What was the first word in the first English dictionary? Abandon, aback, abate, or abjure?
Wow. I'm gonna have to guess on this one. ABCA.
That would be a D.
Yeah, I think it was C, abate, only because it's a funny spelling of a word.
It's good logic, but it's abandon. And I mean, what can I say? This is a stupidly hard question. Nobody's going to have this in their back pocket to work out. But abandon was the first word in Robert Corddry's Table Alphabetical.
Oh, we're not going with Johnson.
Published in
that's interesting.
Published in 1604, which is recognized as the first English dictionary.
Wow.
And I think with that, we have a winner.
I think we do. And Kate, congratulations. And you get a mug. And thank you for participating. And Mona is our winner. Congratulations to Mona. Mona gets the grand prize and the mug, right?
Wow,
No,
I didn't
not a
expect
mug.
that.
Oh yeah, you do get a mug. That's right. Everybody gets a mug. All right. Well, I mean, I can't wait. So when am I going to get my game? That's the real question I've been wanting to ask.
Before Christmas.
Before Christmas.
Before Christmas.
Okay.
So what happened was we launched this campaign on Kickstarter and basically it all sold out. We ordered a really large quantity and it just really took off. So the Kickstarter orders are going to be delivered before Christmas, but we are going to be getting, but we've already ordered a second print run for this.
Yeah.
And we're really excited about it. And to be honest, it's been really lovely talking with you guys because honestly, you are kind of the people that this game is for, not to put too fine a point on it. It is a game about, it's a game for word lovers. And you seem like a bunch of people who love words and know about it. So I really hope you check it out. And if you're interested to find out more about it and kind of contribute any questions or anything, then I'd love you to check it out.
All right. And I'll bring, if I get it by Christmas, but in March for the ACES conference here in Columbus, I'll bring my copy and we can play at the bar, and that should go well. That should be a lot of fun if you're coming. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I know there were some questions in the room we didn't get to, and it's just we could have done. I said to Joshua, we could just do an hour talking about the process, but we wanted to play the game, and it's very cool to get a taste for it. And thanks to everybody who participated, and thank you, Joshua. Congratulations on the game, which seems to be a roaring success in my view of the world.
Yes, it's super exciting.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you very
It's
much.
Genius.
And sorry for going so late.